lot of times women like, sometimes, they look at that, women look at, oh, we got a credit line. Oh, okay. Yeah, they look at you like a little different. You know how to manage money. You know how to save. You know how to budget. Budgeting. Before we get into the credit report, we're going to talk about budgeting right quick for a minute or so. When you budget your money, you live among your means. Meaning, if I make $50,000 a year, I do not go over what I make. Credit works, now we're going to get into that. That's a good question. How does credit work for homeowners? Like, when you're trying to get a home, a house, right? The first thing that banks look at is they look at your credit line and also your credit report, which has your credit history on it as well too. So a lot of times banks look at it like, don't get me wrong, you can have a lot of money in the bank, but if once they see your credit history and it's awful, they're not gonna give you that. They're not gonna help you out as much. They're gonna put a lot of interest. But Ace can speak on that because he actually became a homeowner. So
I'm literally staying in the home that I have, and I don't know if I would have it or if I would have spent what I spent on it if it wasn't for the woman that's in the room next to there, and that's the real dope.
But that's amen though, because a lot of times,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean that's key. I can tell you exactly how it played out for us. My credit is not terrible, right? It's not terrible. It could be a lot better, but it's decent, right? But when we went down to hand in and do all of our paperwork, they looked at her credit and they looked at her. I'm an entrepreneur, so my income is like I handle my taxes and things the way the rich people do it, right? We can get into that at some point with the way the rich people go about, like, doing their taxes and handling their finances. So because of the way I do it the way they do it, my income doesn't, reflect. So they would have had to track my stuff. But once they saw her credit score and saw that they could be able to track my current income from having a job, boom, they were like, we're not even gonna put you in. Like, we're not even gonna go there, because they knew once they brought me into the equation, then maybe the interest rate is higher. Maybe it's harder to be able to get, the type of mortgage that we would have, gotten, right? So when it comes down to purchasing a home, then they're gonna look at your credit score, which is a reflection of the way you spent and the usage, right? So when Leo is telling you have that $600 card, use $50 of it, use $50. What he's trying to tell you is that use the credit as a tool as opposed to using it for the things that you want to purchase. Use it future in mind. Yeah, you can get something with it right now. The rule is that if you don't have the money to pay for it right now, then you can't afford it.
That part. Repeat that, Ace, again, please. Repeat that part right there.
It said if you don't have the money to pay for it right now, then you can't afford it. Don't let the credit make you fool you and think like, well, Leo, listen, Leo is, I'm like, what? You did what? You usually have your friends give you money to pay the, like, where were you? And too, because that's genius, right? He's saying to himself, like, all right, put this on it, because he was thinking of building the credit. That's what you called for. Like, literally. So right now, like, my credit is building up because I have like a $7,000 limit on the card, because it was a card that came from a previous business that I had. My $50 LA Fitness membership is the only thing that pays for. So we're covering $50 they charge, $50 gets paid automatically from my account. That is cool. I have cut up the card because simply it's just a tool to continue to build my credit up. So because I want to invest in real estate in the future, so I need to build it up, right? So they're gonna look at your credit, they're gonna look at your income from whatever job that you have and things of that nature. But man, like this is like I said last week, this is so valuable, and I really hope that you guys not only take this information but pass it on, right? Share it. Even to your parents. Your parents may not even really understand like how credit like fully works. So so yeah, that's when it comes to homes like that. I've just experienced that. Like, you are not going to be able to purchase your own home. You're not going to be able to get a condo or any of that without having legitimate credit. And it's harder. It's harder to rebuild it, right, than it is for you to do. So if you make sure it's good and it stays good, then fine. When you then have to fight to build the bad score up, it's a lot harder.
Oh my God. You do not want to fight KD, James Harden, and Kyrie on the same team, and you're trying to build the reputation against them, you better do everything in your power to lift yourself up, because at that point, you know, they want to see how trustworthy you are. That's how you even built that basketball up. You have to show them you're trustworthy, and not only to them, but to yourself. What you have to realize about what I've been trying to tell you about this whole time is that this is a reflection of yourself. This is a reflection about how much you care about yourself. At that time when I was coming up, I was very fortunate to work. My father was a limousine driver, and I was very fortunate to work next to Kenneth Cole. I used to do paperwork at his office on 50th Street and 11th Avenue. I used to clean the office and everything. I used to listen to people all day. When I was 14, 15, I couldn't go into that office and talk about Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh! And all this. No, it's either politics, money, or investment. So a lot of times I didn't understand it because I was young, and I was like, I don't know, nobody want to hear about that. But the older I got, and I started seeing people how depressed and miserable they are because, like, they owe thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and that's not even inflicted pain, like physical pain. That's just pain from money. This is just pain from money. So I'm trying to avoid for you guys to go through money problems, money pain. You don't want to go through money pain. Trust me when I tell you that. And a lot of times, you know, when we sit up here and we talk about credit and all these things, the reason why I was able to do that with my friends, like how Ace was saying, is because I knew at the time credit cards are no good, because I'm like, if this is doing this to my sister, my brother, my aunt, it was doing it to everybody. I'm like, oh, so you know, credit card is just basically like a hammer and a nail. It's just, hey, you want me to build this for you? Just pay me and I'll build it and I'll give you the credit for it.